Welcome Pisces to your monthly horoscope for May for the Sun or the Ascendant. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, I'd be honoured if you did so now. Also, please feel welcome to comment. I interact with every single one. If you've yet to subscribe to my monthly magazine, my astrology magazine, regular updates or free daily horoscope, please see the link beneath this video. Pisces, we're living in momentous times. I usually try to measure my words with a great deal of care on all my forecasts. But I hope you will agree that on this one, I'm going to take even more care to be as sensitive as possible to the wider dimensions that we're all existing within at this time. With that in mind, this month begins for you with Neptune, your co-ruler, in a right angle with Venus, the planet of love and affection, which is going to last all month. This is terrific if you're a creative type of Pisces, love handicrafts, maybe finding yourself a bit more at home. This can give you a big push to express your full flair and artistry. But around relationships, it can be a bit more complex. It can make you hypersensitive, and also things can be a bit distorted around how you receive information or how someone close to you receives information from you. But the most idealistic part of your nature is boosted by your other ruler, which is Jupiter, and that's in an alliance with Pluto for the whole of this month. Generally, that's a very good conjunction for you. They're together this year for about 5.5 months. And that gives you an opportunity to really set your sights on where you're heading, your future destination. If there were things that had been important to you, that you had achieved over the last couple of years, but since you got to that destination, your perspective has altered, that may be because of the shift of Saturn out of the sign of Capricorn and into the sign of Aquarius, which happened on the 22nd of March. That may have seen you become perhaps a little quieter, a little more introspective, and with the fiery influence of Mars also in the sign of Aquarius for the first 2 weeks of this month, there could be some inner energies that seem a little turbulent. Perhaps these are linked to the past. The most wonderful news of this whole month for you, I feel, does actually come on the 13th when Mars moves into your sign. This is going to give you a real boost of physical energy. You're going to move into the moment more. You're going to feel less drained or less sort of phased out. Also, from the 19th through to the end of the month, Mars forges an awesome angle to Uranus, the planet of innovation and change, which is in a sparkling part of your scope, along with Mercury, the planet of communication, and also the Sun, which are all three are in the sign of Taurus, which works well for you. So I think your mind's going to be pretty active as this month begins, but also there could be an element of anxiety. Not surprising with what we're dealing with, but this is more planet-led rather than your physical circumstances. But on the 5th of this month, the North Node, also known as the point of destiny, which is almost like the influence which affects a kind of societal dimension, what we all get pulled towards, a gravitational pull, that moves into your sector of home, family and emotions. So don't be surprised if you are thinking about making some changes in that area this month and beyond. Now, the North Node's going to be here for the next year and a half, but there's a big load of energy building up around this emotional dimension for you, which can be quite exciting. The 7th, however, does see the most passionate full moon of the whole year. This is in the sign of Scorpio, which is obviously your sister water sign, and this links very positively to Neptune in your sign. It's kind of saying to you, if you're sharing ideas, if you're interacting with people, I think that the internet is going to be absolutely bursting with activity, with people being more home-based. This is a wonderful time for you to be thinking a lot about where you're heading in your life, But there may be some parts of yourself that are resistant to change, or perhaps someone close to you is resistant to change. And I just feel that if there is something that you believe very profoundly in, coming through the passion of Scorpio, what Neptune is saying to you is just retain your sense of humility when you're expressing your opinions, because other people may see it very differently. However, on the 11th, Saturn does go into a retrograde. And if you are clearing up anything from your past, whether it's past emotional issues, past physical changes, or it is directly linked to the fallout from COVID-19 and physical changes which have been imposed on you, this could make you feel a little bit lower in spirits. But Saturn can still come back into play in a very positive way as this month develops. Also, Venus goes into a retrograde on the 11th. It is going to be important when it comes to your emotional communication to be utterly sincere. I'm not saying that you aren't normally, but we can all sometimes be a bit flippant because we're busy or distracted. But someone close to you may be watching very carefully how you respond. And something that's very, very important to you at a deeper emotional level may need a very tender touch with Venus's retrograde, which goes on through to the pretty well the end of week 3 of June. But also Mars, as I said before, arrives in your sign on the 13th, and that is going to bring you into the present. It's going to make you more dynamic. The 14th, however, does see Jupiter go into a retrograde. This is more complex. Jupiter retrograde lasts for 4 months. It does slow things down. And for you, I think it could be slowing down the area of social interaction. Not a surprise, I guess. But in terms also of your longer term plans, maybe you need more time to formulate them, especially in this changing, chaotic world that we're inhabiting just now. But from the 11th through to the 19th, the Sun forges a quite sensational link to both Jupiter and Pluto. So conversations you have at that time can link you to profound people. It could be friends you already have, it could be new contacts or new ways of looking at things, new philosophies. Jupiter rules philosophies. The 11th house for you governs your friendships and associations, and where the Sun, Mercury, up until that point, and also Uranus are, is all about how we share information. Now, Mercury's move into Gemini, which occurs on the 11th, can see you feeling a little bit more tongue-tied. It is going to be coming into a conjunction with the retreating Venus by the 21st, just as the Sun actually moves into Gemini. Now, the Sun moving into Gemini for you, along with Venus and Mercury, suggests that not only can you be thinking about moving home, changing home, perhaps adapting where you're living, there can be very powerful changes going on around who lives with you, or your personal communication with family members can be very vivid. This can be very positive, particularly on the new moon, which occurs on the 22nd. There could be a new addition to your family unit. Even if it's not your immediate unit, it could be part of the wider family, but someone who is important to you. Saturn links brilliantly to this new moon, and that's going to provide a real anchor of support. I think what Saturn in your 12th house in retrograde is doing is, don't forget all the past experience and knowledge that you've accumulated. You can use that, tap into that to deal with the headwinds that we're facing. But it is true that on the 29th, Mercury moves into your sister water sign of Cancer. For you, this is a glorious switch because you can feel more outgoing, more playful, but Mercury's not at its best in Cancer, so you have to work quite hard at keeping a clarity around what you're saying. But generally, the 4th house influences that are coming through here, it's big stuff. And as the month draws to a close, Mars in your sign does go into quite a harsh right angle with the Sun. So there could be a point where you may have a decision to make. It could be about moving somewhere different. It could be about whether you stay put. It may be that someone close to you feels that you're being a bit forceful in wanting your own way, or it may seem that someone close to you seems deaf to what you want to achieve. And that can, of course, be frustrating. So this is a month of evolution for us all, but I do think the communicational energies of the North Node in Gemini, Venus being there despite its retrograde, Mercury arriving on the 11th, and also the Sun on the 21st and the new moon, it's going to give us all an opportunity to think a lot more. And that thinking generally can be very good for us. So though things may not be going quite at the pace you want to get things going again after this massive big stop that we've had, this would be a fabulous time in this last part of the month to engage with nature, have some peaceful moments, take some time off completely, reassess your priorities, spend time with the people who are really important, meditate, read quietly, and just feed and nurture your soul, your body, and your spirit. Thank you so much for joining me for your monthly horoscope forecast. I'd love it if you would subscribe to my monthly magazine and my regular mail-outs, which are high-quality astro journalism. You can also get your free daily horoscope within this emailed to you each day. Then again, if you'd like to have a one-to-one with me or order your personal 12-month forecast and character analysis and get 30% off them, please see the links beneath this video. But for now, good luck and goodbye.